Hi, welcome to the 19th episode of the New England Gal Knits podcast. I am Janet, and I live in Massachusetts with my husband, our two boys, our cat, and our dog. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram at the New England Gal. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy it. So today is June 8th, it's Friday. I am a few days late in recording this, and to be honest with you, I did already record it on Tuesday when I normally do. However, allergy season has been really brutal this year here in New England. I'm normally not affected by the pollen. However, this year it has been horrendous. So I've woken up every morning with so much pressure in my head, it hurts to move. And then when I recorded the podcast, I ended up sniffling through the whole thing. So I'm hoping now that I'm conscious of what I'm doing, I won't be sniffling throughout the whole podcast. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. I also realized after the last podcast that I completely forgot to mention the Ravelry group as well as the knit along that I'm hosting. So if you're interested, we do have a Ravelry group, and just under the groups tab, just search for the New England Gal Knits podcast. And if you're interested, I am hosting my first knit along. It is the Summertime Top Cal, and you can knit or crochet any t-shirt, tank top, any summery short sleeve shirt that you'd like. It ends July 15th, and I figured because I completely forgot to mention it last podcast, I'd go ahead and re-show what the prize is for the knit along. I had shown it 2 episodes ago. I do have it all wrapped up in a plastic bag. It is prime dog shedding season here, and I wanted to make sure I was protecting it from all the fur that's been flying around my house. The first thing I have in the prize pack is this yarn by Tilting Planet, and this is her Star Cake color, and this is on her 75-25 Merino nylon base, and it's still in the plastic, but you can see all those beautiful speckles, bright colors. It is the perfect summer yarn. I also purchased, and I don't think I brought over mine, and this is all wrapped up, but one of her Globe Progress Keepers, and it has iridescent white stars in it. And the last thing for the prize for the knit along is this project bag that I sewed myself with sunflowers, nice summery colors. That is the prize for the knit along, and if you want to share what you're working, please on Instagram, please use the hashtag SummertimeTopCal. I'd love to see what everybody's working on. I have a couple finished objects. I'm gonna call them finished objects. They still have their ends woven in, that need to be woven in. Maybe I'll call them the projects that are off my needles. They still have the finishing touches that need to be done. The first one I have is a baby sweater. Now this is still a little damp from being blocked. My brother and his wife are expecting their first baby, a little girl, July 19th, and the shower is Sunday. I needed to get the sweater done. So it is damp because I needed it blocked. I need to weave in the ends. I need to make sure it's dry. But I knit them the Flax Light sweater, and this is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. I love the way this came out. This is knit out of Moonstone Dyeworks in her Castle colorway. It is a 100% Superwash Merino. I love it, and I wanted Superwash Merino because with baby knits, I want them to feel like they can throw it in the washing machine and not have to worry about it. I have a little bit left on the cake. Here it is. So here is the cake. I love this. I think I have enough for a pair of socks, even possibly a hat. I'm not sure. I haven't knit a whole lot of baby items. I wasn't knitting when my boys were little, and now I have an almost 13-year-old. He'll be 13 at the end of this year, as well as an 11-year-old boy. And so I never had a chance to actually knit them things when they were babies. I forgot that they could be that tiny. Anyways, I'm not quite sure how much yarn it takes to knit up socks and a hat, but one or the other, if I can squeeze out both, that would be great. We'll see. My next finished object is a pair of Shorty socks, and here they are, and these are knit out of Black Bunny fibers in her Swampthing colorway, and this is her 75-25 base, and I knit these toe up with a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I then knit 2 inches above the heel before starting a 2x2 ribbing, and I knit 10 rows of the 2x2 ribbing, and I love these. I was saying in my last podcast, I don't have a lot of Shorty socks, yet I want some for the summer. I think these will look great with my Converse. I have another pair of shoes I wear a lot to work. They're kind of like that Annie Hall menswear style shoes that I think these would look great with. I'm very happy with these, and I actually casted on another pair of Shorty socks because that's what I'm all about, is knitting the Shorty socks, I think, for the summer. That is it for my finished objects. I do have 2 half-finished objects. The first one is, I'm gonna stick it on the sock block here. So much pressure when you guys are watching me trying to get this on quickly and neatly. Here it is. So this is knit out of Cascade Heritage Wave in there. I believe it's the 508 colorway. I'm not going to get 2 matching pairs of socks out of this. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not crazy about this green. However, I do really, really like the fabric that it's created, so I think I'm going to hold off on knitting the second sock until the Grocery Girls, they do the second sock of summer knit along. I'll probably go ahead and cast on the second for that, but I'm in no rush. It was a quick knit, but I'm bored with the color, so I'm going to put those aside, and then when the Grocery Girls have their knit along, I'll go ahead and cast on the second one. So for my second half finished object, I have finished the, I'm going to try and say it right this time. I've had it on the podcast twice now and have not been able to say it correctly the first time around. It is the Speckled Space Sock. There's too many S's. And this is a pattern by Amanda Stevens. I love the way this came out. I adore this. I have to say, for the first few repeats, it's done toe up. In the first 2 chart repeats, I was using a cable needle, and it was a slog. It was so slow going, to the point where I didn't think I was gonna pick this back up again. I decided to go to YouTube, watch a couple videos on doing 1x1 cables without a cable needle. What a difference. I was able to do this 3rd chart repeat, the leg and the cuff, within a day. It flew, and it was just, it is fun. I highly recommend this pattern. I highly recommend the pattern. I highly recommend you to check out how to do a 1x1 cable without a needle, because it makes all the difference. I cannot wait to cast on this second sock. I'll be doing that this weekend. So this is being knit out of Artistic Lilly, her 80-20 base in the Baby Light My Fire colorway. I love this color. It reminds me of Hawaii, like the magenta, the orange, the yellow, like the sunset over the ocean. Not that I know what the sunset over the ocean in Hawaii looks like because I've never been. My husband should get on that. Hint, hint. Anyways, I love Artistic Lilly's yarn. Her colors are beautiful. I knit a sweater. I knit the pavement sweater out of her yarn. I also have another skein that I'm holding on and trying to figure out. I want to do something special with it. But her yarn is always beautiful. And Ellie of Artistic Lilly, she and Melissa of the Spicy Homemaker are now doing audio podcasts. I've been thoroughly enjoying that on my commute to work. It is the Knitting Hookup, and I just got it off of my iTunes. They've had 2 episodes so far. Great podcast, great personality. I really should check them out. I absolutely thoroughly enjoying them, and it's been nice having them keep me company on my commute, so check them out. I guess I'll talk next about my last sock project. Last night I was watching The Grocery Girls, and Tracy had just finished knitting a pair of shorty socks. I love the way they looked. It had twisted ribbing. So I stalked her on Instagram this morning with the picture of the shorty socks, and I expanded the picture and counted how many rows of ribbing she did and went from there. So I cast on my own pair, and here is what I have so far. So I am doing a twisted 1x1 ribbing. I did 5 rows of that, and then I did 5 more rows before I put in the scrap yarn for, I'm going to do an afterthought heel on this. And I'm going to continue knitting down the foot, and I love the way this is looking. So this is yarn by Selene, and it is the Jelly Bean colorway. And this is beautiful. And for the heels, I'm going to use this fabulous hot pink yarn. I love this. I have already knit a full length pair of socks out of this yarn. I had about 46 grams of this left. I figured with using the contrasting color for the heel, I should have plenty of yarn for the shorty sock, and I'm enjoying knitting them right now, and I'm actually going through my scrap yarns and seeing how much I have left of other yarns to cast on more shorty socks with. You know what, they're quick, they're fun, just knit them in the round, and they look great with a pair of sneakers. That have been all the socks I have been working on for the last few weeks. I have one more work in progress. I haven't gotten a whole lot accomplished on it. I think with being so congested and feeling so medicine heady, I think that's what the commercials say with the allergy medications. All I've wanted to do was knit on socks these past few weeks, which is why I think I've gotten so many of them done. But I did get a little work done on my Tegna, and this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, which I'm sure all of you know. Everyone and their mother has knit it, and if they haven't already knit it, they have it cast on. So I've started on the lace. I haven't gotten very far on this at all. However, here is what I have so far, and I am enjoying the lace a lot. Like I said, my mind just hasn't been in the mood to actually sit and concentrate and read the lace charts. I haven't been in that frame of mind. However, I'm hoping maybe tomorrow, if I can get the lace work done tomorrow, then I can work on the body. The baby shower is an hour away, so it'll be 2 hours of car knitting. It is a Jack and Jill, so my husband's coming with me and he's driving. Maybe I'll do that. I'll get the lace done, and then I can work on the body in the car. I am knitting this out of yarn I had dyed myself, and it's this kind of dark plum color, and the base is, it's a 55 Merino, 25% nylon, and 20% mohair, and I'm really enjoying working with this yarn. It's been a pleasure, and here I have one that's still skeined up. I had dyed 3 of them. I should only need 2, but I wanted to dye up an extra skein just in case. I'm knitting it on a smaller gauge but a larger size than what I would normally knit. So I wanted to make sure I had some backup, which I do. That is it for all of my works in progress, which has been plenty. I did do a little bit of dyeing. It wasn't a whole lot. So I would say about 2 years ago, I dyed up a couple skeins of yarn. I was just playing around, and I did not like, they're ugly. I did not like the way they came out. I took a picture, so I'll post it here. I ended up deciding I'm just gonna over dye it black. I hate to be wasteful and then not use it at all and or throw it away or donate it. Although donating it wouldn't be such a bad thing, but I wanted to be able to use it. So I over dyed it in black. Here's the first one. So this one was a pink base. There is a little bit of pink that is coming through. I don't know how well you can see it. This is Knit Pick Stroll Glimmer, the Bear base. And then the other one I had dyed up is this one, and there's a little bit of blue and yellow that's coming through on this. I figure with the one with the pink in it, I'm currently working on, hasn't been active the last few weeks, but I'm currently working on the Wonderland socks by Tabi Gandee of the Hey Sister podcast and Hey Sister Yarn Co. And I'm knitting it out of stranded Dyeworks and her Flamingo legs. And here's what I have so far. It hasn't been a huge progress since the last time I showed you, but I figured this would make a great heel. So I'm going to go ahead and use that for the heel. And I do love the pattern. I'm knitting these using the, I'm going to see if I say it right. Last time I said it completely backwards. The Flexi Flip needles by Addie's. Verdict's still kind of out on it. I'm trying to wait in doing the whole sock project before I make a decision. When I started my 9-inch circular needles, it took me a whole entire project before I fell in love with them. So I want to give these its just due and really work through the one sock project with them. It's slower. I think it's taking a little while to get used to it, but it's also fun. It's different from working on the 9-inch circular, so I am enjoying it. I just feel like it's going slower. And that is it for dyeing. I did want to talk a little bit about sewing. With the sweater that I knit my brother and my sister-in-law, I figured rather than wrapping it in a box, I would go ahead and make her a drawstring bag to put the sweater in. Plus, new mom, bags always come in handy. You cannot go wrong, especially with a good drawstring bag. So I'm trying to decide between this one. I have enough material to make another one of these. And then I also pulled this one out here. This is, I'm almost done making these. Here's the one that's the same as the other. I just have to pin them. It'll take me no time at all to sew them up tomorrow. This one I thought would match the sweater when I pulled it out. Doesn't match it at all. At all. So, I don't know which one I'm going to do. I know my sister-in-law is not a very pink person. I may show my husband, let him decide. We'll see. He's good at making up my mind for me. that is it for all of my crafty things that I've been working on. I did purchase a couple things over the last few weeks. The first thing I purchased was the Lane. I believe that's not the way you say it. However, that's the way I'm going to pronounce it today. The magazine. All of the patterns are gorgeous in here. There were a couple though that I just fell in love with, and I'm going to need to knit them. The first one that I fell in love with was the Elevate by Suzanne Summers. I'm normally not a rectangular wrap type of person, but I love the structure, I love the pattern of this. Just seems like the perfect fall wrap on those cold, crisp mornings just to wrap up in. I love it. So I would like to knit that. The other one that caught my eye was the Loda, I think is how you say it, by Marie Green. And it is a knitted dress, which normally I don't gravitate towards knitted dresses, but I love the way this one is shaped. It's a loose fitting dress, and I think it would look great with a pair of leggings. I love this magazine. There's some great recipes in there. There's an egg dish with asparagus and sun-dried tomatoes that looks delicious, so I'm going to be giving that a try next week. So this is the first time I've ever gotten their magazine, and I love it. I am highly impressed. It won't be the last one of theirs that I buy. And then the last thing I purchased was a skein of yarn from Whips on Sticks. And here it is. And this is the Limpet colorway. And this is on her 75-25 3-ply base. I've never knit with a 3-ply. I've always done the 4-ply 75-25 base. So soft. At first I bought it because I thought perfect pair of summer shorty socks, but now that I have it and how soft it is, I think it needs to be a lacy shawl. I just don't know what lacy shawl. If you guys have any ideas, let me know, but I love this, and I love, look at the speckles. It's just beautiful. And Limpet, if you don't know, it's just a shell. But this is stunning. I love the aqua. Along with that, she ended up putting a little package, and it's in a little baggie, let me get it out. And she sent along a cute little free Progress Keeper with her little logo on it, with the little alpaca llama. I'm hoping that focuses. I don't know the difference between alpacas and llamas. My twin brother owns a alpaca farm up in upstate New York. I should probably ask him. She should probably know. And here is her card, and I believe it's Kayla. She also included a perfect peach herbal tea. Peach tea is my absolute favorite in the summertime. I love it. There is in Newport a spice and tea shop in Newport, Rhode Island that has a peach black tea that is hands down my all-time favorite. We may need to make a trip down there soon for more. They also have a really good lime cilantro sea salt. Really good on margarita glasses. I highly recommend it. That is it for my purchases, and that is it for all the crafty stuff as far as what's been going on. Memorial Day weekend has passed, and Memorial Day weekend was my husband and my 18th anniversary. We ended up going out to dinner at a steakhouse in Worcester, 111 Chop House. I had raw oysters for the first time. I loved them. They were delicious. Highly recommend giving something different a try. My husband wouldn't touch them. My husband is a steak, chicken, potatoes, rice type of guy. The only vegetables he eats are corn, carrot, peas, and the occasional green beans. Whereas I will eat anything. I will try anything at least once. Our youngest son Ryan is just like me. Our oldest son Jacob is just like my husband. But what are you gonna do? Sometimes cooking dinner for the families a little bit iffy, especially when you're trying to be healthy, because steak and potatoes or steak and rice aren't the healthiest of choices. Also on Memorial Day weekend, my son was in a soccer tournament. I was a bad mom and I did not go to any of his games. They were all close to Boston. That Sunday, even the Monday, it was cold and raw and rainy and 55. I was just not in any mood to sit outside in the freezing cold. And then on Sunday there were 2 games and it was about an hour away. There was an hour and a half between the 2 games, so it wasn't even like my husband could come home and they could go back, so they had to pack dinners. I was a bum. I spent Sunday on the couch with my younger son and we binged watched the show Haven. It's an older show. It ended in 2015. I was late to the game. My twin brother knew all about it, but it was a Sci-Fi Network show. It is on Netflix, and it's basically loosely based off of Stephen King's The Colorado Kid book. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm on season 4 right now. I recommend it. It's a sci-fi. It is what it is. It's not super scary like Stephen King It type of show. It's science fiction. And then on that Monday, while my husband took Jake to his last soccer tournament game, I took our son Ryan to march in the town parade for Memorial Day. It was gray and kind of chilly out, but it was nice. We live in a small farming town. And the parade, it's only about a mile distance. So it's short, it's not very long, but it's enjoyable. And you know, we had cows and horse-drawn carriages, and you know, the veterans marched and all the police and the firefighters. It was a great time. I ran into a friend from elementary school I hadn't seen in ages, and it was great catching up with him. It was just a nice time, and then we ended up at a friend's house for a barbecue afterwards. Last week we went and we saw Solo in the movie theaters. I got the majority of one of my Shorties socks done. My boys and my husband loved the movie. It was great. It was entertaining. I am a huge Harrison Ford fan, and I adore his portrayal of Han Solo. I had a very hard time relating this Han Solo to the one that was in the original Star Wars movies. It was still entertaining. I highly recommend it. Just in my ridiculous mind, I just couldn't, that wasn't Han Solo to me. Han Solo was Harrison Ford. I'm just strange that way. And that is all we've done. This weekend we have the baby shower coming up, and other than that, I don't believe we have anything else planned. The following weekend, my husband and I are trying to plan a family trip out to Martha's Vineyard for the day, do a little bit of bike riding. I'm hoping to give vlogging a chance. I probably won't do a lot of holding the camera up and talking in front of it. I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. But what I may do is take some nice scenic videos. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in, but I thought I'd give it a try and see how it goes. Other than that, there is nothing else going on. And actually, it is going to be Father's Day in 2 weeks. So any men watching, I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day, and I hope everyone has a great 2 weeks ahead. Bye.